On the third day of Christmas, my true love said to me, 3 Christmas meals, 2 makeup looks, and a trip to the Bellagio.
So on the third day of Christmas, we have 3 Christmas meals. We're going to start off with breakfast, move on to lunch, and then we're going to do a tea. Now what I like about these recipes are if you have guests staying over for Christmas week, New Year's Eve, you can make big batches of this and just keep it warm in a slow cooker and they can help themselves, especially for breakfast. Not everyone gets up at the same time. You can make a big pot and they can just help themselves when they're ready for breakfast. So the first recipe is oatmeal, but it's a gourmet oatmeal. It's really delicious. Stick with me, let's start. The first 2 items you need are oatmeal and your choice of milk. I'm going with almond milk. And you're going to do 1 for 1. So if it's 1 cup of oatmeal, you're going to use 1 cup of milk. First, we're going to bring the milk to a boil. Once your milk is boiled, you can add the oats and you're going to leave it to simmer for 25 to 30 minutes. Add a pinch of salt and give it a stir. Now to this, we're going to add some cinnamon, some ginger, and some allspice. Oh my gosh, that smells so good. Now whilst the oatmeal is simmering, we're going to take an apple. Now I've chosen a gala apple purely because it's my favourite type of apple, and we're going to chop some of it up and keep a couple as slices. Next I have some maple syrup and a small frying pan. I'm just going to drizzle a little bit into the frying pan. I've got it on a low heat and I'm going to add the apples to this. Now make sure you get the apples nice and coated. Now if you want, you can add a little bit more cinnamon to this. Now if you do have guests and they weren't awake before you started making this, believe me, this scent is going to wake them up. The whole house is going to be smelling so good. Now once the apples are nice and brown, go ahead and add in a few raisins just to warm them up. And then finish with a drizzle of maple syrup. And for some added luxury, some fresh cream. Next I'm going to be making Christmas dinner soup. So let me show you what's in this. We have some onions, some garlic, sweet potatoes, parsnips, chicken stock, black pepper. Now you can either use fresh thyme. I've got the thyme leaves in a spice jar right here. And also I have sage, and you can use fresh sage if you'd like, and chicken, but you can use turkey if you'd rather. So the first thing we want to do is add a little bit of olive oil to a big cooking pan, and we're going to add the onions first. Just going to add a dash of salt and pop the lid on so the onions can sweat. Now once the onions have sweated down, you can add your garlic, your sweet potato and your parsnips. My garlic is whole, but that doesn't matter because we are actually going to be spritzing this down later as the soup cooks. Here we want to add the sage and the thyme. That's about a teaspoonful. The same amount of sage and black pepper. So we're going to give this a good stir, make sure that the vegetables are all coated in the herbs. And we're going to pop the lid back on for another 5 minutes. Now whilst the vegetables are sweating away, I've got this chicken here. It's just under a pound. It is chicken breast, and I'm just going to give this a quick chop. Now the vegetables have sweated for about 5 minutes. I'm now going to add the chicken stock. Now, of course, you could also use your leftover turkey in this soup if you wanted to. Now, if you do have a house full of guests, I think this is a really good way to organise your day. So breakfast, they help themselves to their oatmeal, and then you could all go for a nice long walk, build up a hearty appetite, and come back to some ready-made soup that you've got keeping warm in a crock pot. I'm getting hungry. Now that the soup is boiling, you can add your chicken. Let's turn this down to a low simmer, pop the lid back on, and we'll let that cook for a good 30-40 minutes. Okay, so this has simmered for 30 minutes. Now I'm just going to Okay, let's move on to tea. And again, keeping with the same theme of your guests being able to help themselves to food. Now, I've stolen this idea from a local sandwich shop called Capriotti's, and on their menu, they have a sandwich called the Bobby. I don't know if Capriotti's is all over America. I'm not sure whether it's just the West Coast, but I thought it would be fun to recreate their sandwich. And it's perfect for Christmas because it's all your leftovers. So first you need your rolls, whether they're crusty or soft rolls, it really doesn't matter. But I thought it'd be a cute way if you was to present them in a wicker basket with maybe some festive looking napkins and just have them on display that your guests can then help themselves, sit out a knife, they can cut them and add the mayonnaise. That's step number one. So next you want your turkey or whatever main meat that you cooked at Christmas and you have as leftovers. My husband just literally cooked a turkey yesterday, so we've sliced it up, and we tend to put our leftovers in baggies. It's a good tip because it takes up less room in your refrigerator. So I'm going to pick out some turkey pieces and just heat them up for a few seconds in the microwave. Now, of course, you don't actually have to heat the meat up. I'm just choosing to. But if you're setting this out as like a mini buffet where your guests can help themselves, you can just put the meat in one of those warming dishes, you know, that has the warm water underneath, and you plug it in. What are they called? Are they called warming plates? I don't know. But they have like 3 sections. So you can put turkey in one and then the other 2 ingredients in the other 2 sections. So anyway, I'm going to pop this in the microwave. So next you need your cranberry. Now I'll be honest with you, I've had many a leftover turkey sandwich before, but I've always added cheese or pickles or salad, but I would never ever have thought of putting this sandwich together until I went to Capriotti's. So yeah, I'm gonna open this and then I'm gonna pop this in the microwave just to warm up just ever so slightly. Now I'm going to pop this into some Tupperware because I'm going to refrigerate anything that I don't use. I'm just going to cut a couple of slices. So I'm just going to zap this in the microwave just to heat it a bit. And lastly, we're going to take some leftover stuffing. I would never have put this in a sandwich, but my husband made stuffing last night and it just was the regular old box stuffing. Yeah, I think he added a few bits and bobs like bell peppers, onions and celery to it. So I'm just going to take a slice of this and heat that up in the microwave too. Okay, everything's warm, so I'm just going to build my sandwich. And of course, if you don't want to just do the sandwich, you can also bump up your little buffet with chips, crackers, pickled onions, and then throw in a couple of desserts too. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and the next video is going to be the 4th day of Christmas, which is going to be on December 8th. Completely different theme. It's going to involve some dogs. Consider subscribing, and thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day to watch one of my videos. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye!